This happened in a small town in Pennsylvania. I bought the house because it was cheap, too cheap. The agent only said, "People don't stay here long." I ignored it. The house looked normal from the outside, old, quiet, empty. But the moment I stood in front of it, something felt wrong. The windows were dark. There was no sound around the house. I opened the door. The moment I stepped inside, I felt it. I wasn't alone. I started unpacking my things. That's when I heard it. A soft sound behind me. Footsteps. I stopped. The sound stopped. I walked again. The footsteps came back. Right behind me. I turned around. Nothing. I told myself it was just the old floor. But the sound stayed behind me. Every time I moved, it followed. As night fell, the house felt worse. I turned on all the lights, but parts of the house still felt dark. I decided to sleep downstairs. After midnight, I heard something from upstairs. Knock, knock, slow footsteps. I sat up listening. It wasn't random. It was walking. I tried to ignore it, but I couldn't. So I went upstairs. Each step I took, there was another step. Not mine. Ahead of me. At the top, there was a long hallway. Doors on both sides. All closed. Except one. The last door. Slightly open. I walked toward it. Slowly. My hand touched the door. I pushed it open. The room was empty. But the floor, covered in dust. And there were footprints. Many of them. All coming from inside the room. Going toward the door. I froze. Those footprints were not mine. Then I heard it. Right behind me. A whisper. "You came." I turned around. Nothing. The door slammed shut. And in that moment, I didn't realize something had already started following me. The door slammed shut behind me. Not slowly, not naturally. It hit so hard that the walls seemed to shake. I stood frozen. My eyes stayed on the door, waiting for it to open again. But it didn't. Instead, I heard something inside the room. A dragging sound. Slow, heavy, like something moving across the dusty floor. I took a step back. The hallway felt different now. Colder. Smaller. Like the space was closing in around me. Then I heard it again. Footsteps. Behind me. But this time, they were not matching mine. They were faster. Closer. I didn't wait. I ran. My feet hit the wooden stairs hard as I rushed down. The sound followed me. Not above me anymore. Right behind me. I didn't look back. I reached the living room and stopped for a second, breathing heavily. Silence. Everything went quiet again. Too quiet. Like nothing had happened. I turned slowly. Empty hallway. No movement. No sound. But the feeling didn't leave. I stood there for a while, trying to convince myself it was stress, imagination, exhaustion. Then I noticed something. The front door. It was open. I remembered closing it. I walked toward it slowly. Outside, everything looked normal. Cold air, empty street, night calm. But I still felt it. That presence. Not outside. Inside. I turned around and looked back into the house. Dark hallway. Still. Watching. I stepped outside and closed the door. For a few minutes I stayed there, not moving. I told myself I wouldn't go back in. But I did. Because everything I owned was inside. And I needed answers. I opened the door again. The moment I stepped in, the temperature dropped. The silence returned, heavier than before. I walked inside slowly, step by step. No sound now. No footsteps. Nothing followed me. That was worse. I sat on the couch, keeping all the lights on. Waiting. Watching. Hours passed. Nothing happened. At some point, I fell asleep. I don't know when, but I woke up suddenly because I heard a whisper, very close, right beside my ear. Don't turn around. My body went completely still. I could feel it. Behind me, standing too close. I wanted to turn, but something in me stopped me. So I stayed still, not breathing properly, not moving. Then, the lights went out. Everything turned black. But I was not alone in that darkness. Something was moving around me. Slow circles, getting closer each time. Then it stopped. Right behind me. A voice came again. Closer this time. It's already inside. And then, silence after the silence, I stayed completely still. I didn't know how long it lasted. Seconds felt like minutes. Minutes felt like something worse. Then, the lights came back. Suddenly, like nothing had happened. The room looked normal again. The couch, the walls, the hallway. Everything was exactly the same. But I knew something was, because I was still sitting there. And I hadn't moved. Slowly, I turned my head. The hallway was empty. No one. No shadow. Nothing. But on the wall in front of me, there was something new. Writing. Dark marks, like they were made with something wet. Not ink. Not paint. It looked wrong. The words were simple. 3 words. I follow you. My heart dropped. I stood up immediately. My breathing got faster. I checked the entire house. Room by room. Empty. Nothing. No sound. No movement. But the feeling never left. It wasn't in the house anymore. It was closer. Like it wasn't just around me. It was with me. Inside the same space. I went back to the living room and sat down again, trying to think. Trying to understand. Then I heard it. A sound I hadn't heard before. My own voice. From somewhere in the house. Not speaking words I remembered saying, but whispering. Softly. Repetitively. Like it was learning how to speak. I stood up again. Slowly. Hello, I called out. No answer. But my voice came back. From behind the wall. Closer this time. I walked toward the sound. It led me to the hallway wall. The same wall where the writing was. I placed my hand on it. Cold. Too cold. And then, something moved behind it. Not like footsteps. Not like anything human. Like something shifting, noticing me. I pulled my hand back immediately. And then I heard it again. Right next to me. Not behind the wall. Not in the house. Right beside me. A whisper. You're already part of it. I stepped back fast. My heart was pounding so hard I couldn't think. And then I noticed something terrifying. The writing on the wall was slowly changing. The letters were moving, forming new words, in real time. And as I watched, it added one more line. You can't leave now. The front door suddenly clicked. Locked. I didn't touch it. I didn't move. but it locked itself. From the outside, and behind me, I heard breathing. Very close, right behind my shoulder. I didn't turn, because I already understood one thing. Whatever was following me was no longer following me from behind. I didn't move. Even my breathing felt dangerous. The air behind me was heavier than anything I had ever felt before. Slowly, I realized something terrifying. The silence wasn't empty anymore. It was occupied. Then I heard it. My own voice again. Right behind me. But this time, it wasn't whispering. It was breathing. And speaking at the same time. Why are you afraid? I closed my eyes for a second. Because I knew. If I turned around, something would change forever. I took a slow step forward. The sound behind me moved with me. Perfectly. Like it was attached. Not chasing anymore. Copying. I walked toward the hallway. Every step I took, it took the same step, but slightly delayed. Like learning. Like practicing. Then I noticed something worse. My shadow on the wall. It wasn't moving correctly. It was slightly behind me. One extra shape. One extra delay. I stopped. The shadow didn't. It kept moving for half a second more. Then it stopped too. Too late. I slowly raised my hand. My shadow didn't match. It raised its hand a little after mine. I felt sick. Something was using me like a signal. Like a template. Then the whisper came again. Closer than ever. I don't need to follow you anymore. My body went cold. The hallway lights flickered once. Then everything went dark. But this darkness was different. It wasn't empty. It was full. Full of movement. Full of presence. And then, a hand touched my shoulder. Soft. Cold. Not grabbing. Just confirming. Like it finally learned what I was. I couldn't run. I couldn't breathe properly. Then the voice spoke again. Right next to my ear. You brought me in. And suddenly, memories felt wrong. Like the house wasn't just inside my life, but inside my thoughts. The rooms I remembered started shifting. The hallway I knew didn't feel the same anymore. Even my own name in my head sounded distant. I realized something horrifying. I didn't just enter the house. I let it observe me, learn me. And now, it didn't need doors anymore. Because it wasn't trapped inside the house. It was trapped inside me. The lights came back one last time. And for a split second, I saw it. Not behind me. Not in front of me. But everywhere. In the reflection. In the walls. In the shadows. In me. And the last thing I heard was a whisper that didn't feel like sound anymore. It felt like thought.